Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to Prime Time Racing TV with a Hardline Racing League Truck Series in the booth tonight. I'm Brandon Kreutz. We're here with Corey Silva. Corey, how you doing tonight?
I'm great, Brandon. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing awesome. These guys put on a heck of a show last week, and hopefully the same here at Iowa Speedway.
Yeah, we saw the big 1.5 mile at Kentucky last week, and we saw Tyler Hensley take away that win, but now we're headed to a short track, a multi-groove short track, so I think we're in for quite a treat today.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see maybe a little bit of rubbing his racing deals here tonight, and you know, as you mentioned, this is a short track, so you know, 0.88 miles is this racetrack, so these guys can get away with some contact, and really aerodynamics don't play effect here, so you know, if you get involved in an incident, don't count yourself out.
That is true, and Brandon, I know you took some laps yourself and kind of see what these drivers are up to today, so how did I know you mentioned the length of the track, but how did the track feel with the track conditions we have tonight?
Well, it feels really loose to start with, and I think depending on what setup these guys are running, it's either going to get looser or it's going to get tighter for these guys. So depending on how they set up their trucks, you know, we could see a little bit of contact between drivers tonight, or maybe a couple self-spins off of some of these corners.
Well, we'll hope for a relatively clean race, although we are at a short track where you expect some bumping and banging, but hopefully we have a nice clean race. But we're starting qualifying here, so we'll see some of these guys. We'll try to focus on the key drivers out here and see where these drivers are going to start in today's Iowa 150. Chris Owens was, you can see him in the wall. If you remember, he led a good chunk of the race last week at Kentucky, only to crash out on the first lap out of pit stops. So let's see, I think he just wasted a lap. Let's see what he can do. See him here, Chris Owens. You can see a lot of these drivers on their out lap, you're going to see them run that high line, trying to get all that speed they possibly can wound up for when they take that green flag. See him choosing to run the middle groove in 1 and 2 as opposed to the bottom. That is a little surprising to me, but let's see 3 and 4. He's going to go right to that yellow line, which it might be the qualifying line, but I don't expect to see many people down there in the race. He's going to come to the line, and Chris Owens in the Winn-Dixie 62 Tundra, he's going to go to number 2 on the board. Number 3.
Yeah, that inside line, Corey, don't expect anybody to be running that during the race, because that'll either get really loose on you or really tight on you on corner exits, and it just doesn't work, and it tends to be the slower line around here. See Robert Kenny in the 10. We didn't see him last week. Let's see what he's made of today. Don't see him on the top 10, but Michael Fenlison, excuse me, he's on the provisional pole now, only by 1/1000th over Bradley Burke. Can't have any closer of a margin than that. Well, we saw a lot of really close times last week, Corey, and it looks like it's going to be the same deal this week with these guys. So, you know, obviously some really, really competitive racing here in the Hardline Racing League.
That there is. Let's see what, we're still focusing on Kenny here. We'll go back. He's in the 4th position, so he actually turned pretty good lap here. This lap he's on, I think he aborted it, but good lap for him. We'll see Chad Frankenfield. He doesn't seem to be in good position right there. Who else is on track right now? Shane Taryn. That may be right, that may be wrong. I do apologize. Shane Taryn coming off turn 4. And
Taryn? I don't know.
English and silent letters. I know these things. These are difficult, but we try.
He gets really loose off the corner. Probably a 0x on the wall. That lap may be disqualified.
You were talking about loose conditions here that these drivers are facing, and I think he is there you go.
Up into the wall, and he's going to slam on the brakes in an attempt to get maybe another lap in.
Yeah, right before the start-finish line. So he was in position where he could, since he didn't cross the line, if that was his first lap, he still could get another fresh shot at another lap if he chooses so.
Corey, that was his second lap because in driver chat he said, "Welp, starting in the back."
Welp. Patrick McLaurin looks like he jumps to P6 on the board with a 24.04. So this, as I say that, Dylan Pileski bumps him down to P7. Dylan Pileski just sneaks on the 23-second bracket.
Number 6 truck works its way down the back straightaway, going into turns number 3 and 4, and he'll lock him down. I think he was done for.
Let's see, who else do we have out here? Casey Shue, we haven't seen him run a lap yet. No, nope, we haven't. Whether that intentional or by just maybe wait until the last second. Do you have a timer for us?
About 3 seconds or so.
All right. Shane Terrien. Terryen. That's how you would pronounce his name. Now we know.
Terrien. All right.
No, Terrien. That's no I. Terrien.
Is that what I said?
You added us extra I in there, I believe.
Oh.
We digress. We will bring you today's Primetime TV starting lineup from the Iowa Speedway for the Hardline Racing League. Starting on the pole, Michael Fenlison with a 23.86. Bradley Burke to his outside. Walker Thomas in the third position. Robert Kenny on the outside of row number 2. Joshua Adams in 5th. Dylan Pileski in the 6th position, who was the last car to get in the 23-second bracket. Patrick McLaurin in 7th. Chris Owens in 8th. Chad Frankenfield in 9th. And Cody Tabor will round out your top 10, Mr. Kreutz.
11th is Byron Labasco. 12th, Corey Belvins. 13th, Joshua Personette. Behind him is going to be Andrew Cardinal. Timothy Moore, Kyle Zimmer, Philip
Radishik?
I believe so. That's going to be Shane Terrien, Thomas Bressy, Rusty Capel, Casey Shue, Tyler Hensley, and Mark Richter.
Tyler
Yes.
Hensley, remember he did win last week's race, and he is in the field, right? Just want to make sure of that. Yep, he is on the grid,
Yes,
so
he
your winner
is.
is going to be starting essentially shotgun on the field, it looks like.
I'd like to quickly apologize if I got anyone's names wrong.
Oh, you got a couple.
Yeah, I know I did. It takes me a while to learn, Corey, you know that.
All right, so we got 150 laps on the board here today, so pit strategy, I'm not going to bother calling it because A, there's going to be cautions, and B, I don't know how to call pit strategy. So we will be interested to see how that plays out. I expect some strategy to be played. I don't think there's going to be any two-tire calls, but there may be some staying out for track position on a short enough run. That we will have to wait on.
So these guys make their way down the back straightaway now. Only 1 lap of pacing here is what these guys get.
I believe we actually get 2, Brandon. Any track less than a mile, we traditionally get 2 on.
Oh, yes, there is 2. Never mind.
How long have you been on iRacing for?
I don't know. 3 years now. For some reason, I thought this was a mile-long racetrack, and it's not.
I think you were the one that actually said the track description, too.
I was. It's been a long day, and life can be hard sometimes.
Mark Richter, that's how you say it.
Yes.
Thank you guys in chat. We have a couple, how do I want to say it in chat? We have a couple grammar Nazis in there, or name Nazis, however, whatever you want to call it.
So I did pronounce it right the first time.
Radicic, that's also. Alright, so now that we have a better understanding of names, we will get this start going now. So, who was on the pole here? I already forgot. The number 14 of Michael Fenlison is on the pole here in the Fastenal Tundra. So he will wait for that Mustang pace car to pull and go onto pit lane and get this race going.
Pace car getting ready to duck down into pit road, getting ready to make that hard left turn. Corey, these guys are ready to go racing here. Off goes the pace car, waiting for the green. Green flag is in the air. These guys are on the gas here at Iowa Speedway.
Again, these guys always go on the green flag, and that keeps us really bunched up as we enter turns 1 and 2. But Fendelson is going to take that first spot and pull away by about a 10th. The battle is still for the second position with the 12 and the 51.
They're still side by side for the second position, going into turns 3 and 4. 51 on the high side, 12 on the low side. 12 car drifts up, a little bit of contact made early in this race.
Almost a little bit Darlington-esque racing there, if you will, because these guys are fighting to be in that top lane. That is where the banking is. This is a progressively banked track. There's a lot more, well, there's about a degree or two more banking up top, so that's where these guys want to be to get that truck to turn a little bit better. Battle for the lead.
For the lead now, 14 on the high side, 51 now on the low side. And the low side just not going to work. High side prevails once again.
Something to note is Iowa, at least in turns 1 and 2, is a very bumpy track. A lot bumpier in 1 and 2. 3 and 4 is relatively smooth. So you will see these guys on the yellow line in 1 and 2, but they're going to want to get back to the top for 3 and 4.
Yeah, 2 different lines being run.
3 different lines even through 3 and 4 there. 51, the 12, and I believe that to be the 88 of Joshua Adams. These guys are just all over the place trying to make passes and trying to find that grip.
Side by side for the second position. Once again, 88 and the 51 make contact. Big save by a couple of drivers going down the back straightaway.
Almost some 3 wide going on to make some wreck avoidance there occur. Good job with those drivers doing so. So we do stay clean and green thus far as we take lap number 5.
Still side by side for that second position. 51 on the low side, 88 up high. And these guys just won't give up. One thing I'm noticing, Corey, from that 51 truck, trying to pull a slingshot, going up high and then shooting it down low, trying to get the momentum off the corner.
Yeah, that is something that can work. And one thing he's going to have to take note of, and well, actually, there's 2 notes. A, he's going to burn his right front down there, but B, if you're on the low side, that gives you some opportunity to give the high side up to somebody else, as the 12 is to Walker Thomas, and the 12 he just took note of. He saw that gap opening, he went up there, he got the momentum, and he actually made the pass.
51 truck not giving up, but quickly losing positions up towards the front of this field.
Battles all over the track now. Everybody's still in quite close quarters racing. But the one thing about the Iowa Speedway that is nice, although it's a short track, there is close quarters racing, hard for me to say, but it's a wide enough track. Whoa, we have an off turn 2.
Oh, big mess down the back straightaway.
The 81, Patrick McLaurin. And
no caution, but these guys really stacked up.
It almost, I mean, it's not a thing in iRacing, but it almost looked as if there was oil on the track there. I saw 2 drivers got loose almost at the same point off the turn. Let's watch this on primetime replay. The 10, the 12, and the 81 all got loose severely off of turn 2. The 81 and the 10 both made wall contact, and I believe it was the 12 of Walker Thomas. He was able to save it, but that was a very freak deal.
Yeah, it was, Corey, and some of these guys did not get off so lucky. The 10 and the 81 both made hard contact with the inside wall. The 12 gets off scotch-free and manages to save his race vehicle. Yeah,
the way cautions come out, that flag, man, if the wreck happens off the racing surface, which is deemed to be below the apron, the caution typically will not fly, and that's where the brunt of that wreck did occur.
I noticed in that whole deal as well, going down the front straightaways, the 12 car gets sideways once again going down the front straightaway. The 88, who was working hard to stay up front, got into the wall down the front straightaway as well. Likely either got tight or loose, and he fell back quite a ways in the field as well.
We are focusing right now back on that battle for second. We saw Walker Thomas in the 12 dive to the inside in 3 and 4 with an attempted pass. Was not able to do so, but in doing that process, the 51 is right back to the bumper of the 14 of Fendelson for the lead. 3-way battle for the front at Iowa.
These guys getting scary close to the wall now, Corey. Maybe these trucks starting to push up the racetrack just a little bit. Very common for Iowa Speedway, especially in daytime racing.
That there is. We have some battle, a good battle going on for about 7th and 8th. I see the 88 of Joshua Adams trying to get underneath the 29 of Cody Tabor, excuse me. He clears that position, dove it into 3 to try to clear on the inside and was able to do so. Now he has his sights on Corey Blevins in the 99. 38 machine of Shane Terry, and he went to the inside of Cody Tabor. Cody Tabor dropping positions. And somebody's in the wall there. I think that was Cody Tabor actually. Hit the wall there off too. Nothing significant, but cost him some time and caution.
Flag on the racetrack. Trying to find where it is, Corey, the 4 truck.
Yes, sir. Casey Shue in the 4 machine.
Looks like hard contact the outside wall from that number 4 car.
All right, we're on prime time replay. We see him to the inside of the, what is the 16?
16 car got loose on the outside.
Innocent victim, and he just got hit in the right rear, and at that point, there's nothing you could do. So, the 16, who was that? Joshua Personet was the one that got loose into him, and just complete bad racing luck there for Casey Shue, but I mean, it doesn't look that bad. As long as the toe is right, he might be able to get that damage fixed. And
just gotta watch those water temps is all you gotta do.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of body damage, as you said. I don't know how much air is going to get in, but as long as it's towing straight, he might still be able to hang on there and maybe stay competitive.
So these guys come down pit road for the first pit stop of the night.
15 laps in, I do expect 4 tires change from everybody. We'll focus our attention to the battle off pit road to see if any strategy is pulled, but with the conditions as loose as they are, I'm not really expecting it.
Jack goes up on your leaders, both sides.
The 10 is the first one off pit road.
10 car looked like he may have taken 2 tires, Corey.
That is Robert Kenny. Actually, Kenny is multiple laps down, so he just must have pitted a lap early, perhaps to fix some damage.
Likely, yes.
But I am showing Andrew Cardinal in the 8 to be the leader right now on the scoring board, so
he must have stayed out.
Yeah,
interesting strategy.
Don't have any pit time here on my score sheet here, so I would have to imagine that. Let's see if he's going for a lap lead or if he's gonna see what these 15-lap-old tires can do up front.
These guys likely on 2 to green now, so we'll have to see.
The pits will be closed for him this time by, because the pits do close if you have not pit on 2 to go, I believe. So
he's likely staying out.
I don't know exactly how much the tires had fallen off to that point, but let's see, where did he start in this race? Let's bring up our graphic here. He started in the 16th position, so I mean, he might, as long as he stays ahead of the 16th position by the time the next yellow came out, it's still a gain for him and a positive move, but let's see if he's able to stay in that position.
Well, Corey, we talked about it in pre-race as the 8 truck ducks down into pit road, so he'll probably face an EOL penalty. We talked about it in pre-race, Corey. As the run goes on, these guys are either going to get pushing tight or really loose, and I think we've seen both so far.
Yeah, it really depends how you start off your run. If you start the run more aggressively, you're really pushing it in the turns, driving in deep, you're going to get tighter because you're going to be burning that right front off first. But on the other end of it, if you're maybe taking it a little easier, you're maybe trying to yaw it out to get it to turn, you might burn the right rear off and that'll make you lose. So a lot of it sometimes is in the driver's hand.
Absolutely.
And looking at the 10, I feel like he was involved in some incident today. I feel like I mentioned his name.
So.
Well, visually we could see.
You good, Corey?
I'm just worried, but Welcome back to Prime Time, where we had an inadvertent commercial break. Technology does act up sometimes, and my computer just kind of needed to go to the bathroom there for a second, but we're back. So I'm hoping you're still here with us, and we're under caution now. I don't know exactly what happened. Brandon, do you perhaps know what happened?
I don't exactly. I think it was just a single car spin, Corey. So, and it happened right after we had that technical error. So you guys really didn't miss anything at all.
I guess,
it was nothing up front. Nothing major happened. So to the viewers, you guys didn't miss anything at all, really. So,
yeah. So
we're going back green here and just one lap.
So I see we still have just about the same viewer count that we had beforehand, so thank you guys for sticking with us through that. So luckily we kind of missed a lull and some pacing, so let's get back to it and hope my computer doesn't have to go back to the bathroom. But we do have Chris Owens in the 62 up front. I don't recall that happening beforehand. The 10 was actually... I'm going to digress, remembering what was going on. We're just going to focus on what's going on right now. So we have the 62 of Chris Owens leading. We have Shane Tarian. Shane Tarian in the 38. We're waiting for this pace car to pull onto pit lane and get this race restarted to take lap 27 here. The Hardline Racing League trucks at the Iowa Speedway is... Delay. Back to green flag. Here we come. A pretty good start from both ends there, but the 62, whoa, he's going to go right up to the top and try to chop off the 38, and he does a pretty good job of that, but it's going to open up the bottom for Walker Thomas in the 12, side by side for the lead off turn 2.
Don't look now. These guys were almost making it 3 wide for the lead, but they're still side by side going into turns 3 and 4. 12 car with the advantage up, running a higher line. 62 car way up out of the groove. These guys running really close to the wall now, possibly pushing up the racetrack just a little bit.
As we said, it was almost Darlington-esque there. These guys, especially on these restarts, they're fighting to get to the top. Whoa, a little bit of almost squeezing going on. I thought the 38 was going to try to shoot the middle there. He thought better than it, but we are all over the track, almost 3 wide here. These guys are in every single line through 3 and 4. And the 12
your leader hits the wall, and they are now 3 wide going into turn 1.
Walker Thomas didn't quite catch it, but he did hit the wall there, and that's going to give the 62 of Chris Owens on the inside a chance for the lead, but Fendelson on the outside in the 14 is going to prevail, but we are in pace lap formation here for the second position. But look at the dive bomb by Chris Owens there to get to the inside. It's not going to work, but it was a shot. Here comes Walker Thomas, has to check up. Big check up because of that.
He squeezes a 12 car right up against the outside wall. Probably not going to be happy about that one. The 62 walks away with second place, but look at the 88 recovering from that contact with the wall earlier in the race. He's back up racing for second place.
This is racing that you'd love to see at the end of the race for the final lap, but we are seeing it on lap 30 here. These guys are doing a really good job. Oh, the 88 pushes up. Chris Owens, how did he miss the wall there? I don't know. Everyone does avoid him. These guys putting on a really good bit of driving here right now.
Ranking down into turn number 1.
Just as I say that, who was it back there? I see the 46. Last week's winner, Tyler Hensley in the 46 involved.
Caution flag is in the air. Most of these guys got it straightened out, but the 46 was the one that bit the bullet and ended up spinning around.
I believe that kind of had some start with Walker Thomas here. We're following that. You see the kind of went back a little bit far here to try to get the whole chain of events. I'm following Walker Thomas here because I feel like I saw him get loose. Yes, the 15 completely got into his left rear, the 15 of Frankenfield, and that just kind of stacked everybody up, and then we saw the 46 get sideways there, and
it looked like the 15 car was going to take a wider line going into the corner, and 12 cars was not expecting that.
Yeah, I mean, the 12 kind of had that line held, so I'm going to put blame on that to the 15, but looks like everyone's decent. Even the 46 just has some spoiler damage, but I think he should be okay with that. Just a little after
pits. 6 car made pretty good contact with the 12 and the 74 car, and most of these guys got straight and backed out, but unfortunately the 46 car was the one that bit the bullet and looped it.
But a lot of
these
cars, Brandon, trucks, excuse me, I always forget what vehicle, trucks, they're short track trucks. I mean, none of these trucks really look terminal to me. Yes, you have the damage, but I think a lot of these guys I think they'll still be fine.
Yeah, these vehicles were really truly built for the short tracks, Corey, not to be running on the big super speedways like they do today in the Camping World Truck Series. So these trucks can really take a beating, especially here on the iRacing service. And yeah, these guys are utilizing that tonight, it seems. But you know, most of those guys were able to drive away and not even lose many positions, really.
Yeah, for those we'll say the older generation, I'll throw myself in that category. We'll remember back in the day when the Truck Series, they ran on all no-name short tracks across the country, and it wasn't until maybe 3 or 4 years later that they kind of ran the schedule they do now. But yeah, as you said, these trucks, originally they were running half-mile, three-quarter-mile tracks the whole time. So we're kind of right back to the Truck Series wheelhouse. But I believe the 99 of Blevins here, he is your leader. Did he stay out, Brandon? I believe he did.
I do believe he did, Corey. Track position, a couple guys really seem to want it right now, and see if it pays off for him staying out, or maybe possibly just trying to lead a lap. We'll see.
Well, I guess we'll see that this time by.
He does duck into pit road, so he just wanted the extra points, Corey.
Yep, I can see on the graphic here, 1 lap led for Corey Blevins. Indiana native. Indiana, probably the closest track, well, the closest state to this track, so we'll call it a relative home race for him.
So this hands the lead back over to the 14 truck, Corey, and what do you think these guys really have for him today?
Well, I believe when we were racing, we had a good-sized stretch of a run before the technical problem and a couple cautions. He had pulled away just a little bit, but other than that, I mean, I think he may be the fastest truck, but I don't feel like he's invincible. I feel like if these guys really kind of maybe make a couple adjustments, they could be right up there with him. Still have 21 cars on track, 21 trucks on track. Out of the 23 we started with, Mark Richter in the 97 didn't take any laps, and Andrew Cardinal took it behind the wall.
So it looks like lights on the pace car are out, and these guys doubling up for the green flag. So they'll be taking that, and I'm sure ready to get back under green flag here. 36 laps in.
That we are here. We'll see what Bradley Burke in the 51 can do on the outside line. We've seen kind of it work both ways on these starts. If the second place guy is able to stay side by side through turns 1 and 2, it's going to put him in the prime position entering 3 and 4, but we haven't really seen too many able to maneuver that through 1 and 2. So we'll see how Bradley Burke's luck is here today on the outside.
Still a big deal going on in driver radio communications about the last incident there, Corey. So I feel like that's something that's not going to be let go for a little while. But yeah. Pace car pulls off nevertheless. These guys ready to get back under green in the restart zone now, waiting for the green flag. They're on the gas, green flag back in the air.
51 actually beat the 14 to the line there. I'm going to have to watch out for that, but he got that run that I was talking about, and he's going to be able to stay on that quarter panel and stay side by side through the back straightaway, so he's going to have the preferred line in 3 and 4.
Side by side for the lead, still a 14 on the low side, 50.
Whoa!
51 on the high side. That almost didn't work as the 14 drifted up the track just enough.
It looked like there was a little bit of drifting up there, as you said, and that kind of got a couple people slowing down there unexpectedly. The 14 got a little bit loose. That's going to bring the 51 to the inside for a chance at a pass here in 3 and 4.
51 makes that 14 run that third line up. Going for the lead now, 3 cars under a blanket, first, second, and third. And
Shane Tarian in the 38, he's gonna make that run on the outside. As I said, when the 51 took that shot to the low side, he left a gap of which the 38 decided to fill, and now that 51 who was going for the lead is going to have to fight to stay in second now.
Yeah, he may fall back to the third position here. The low side, not really where you want to be. Don't look now. Here comes the 88 fighting for third position once again.
Almost some bump drafting down the straightaway from the 38 to the 14 here. Very tight quarters racing. The 51 of Bradley Burke not giving up on that inside line. He's trying to make it work, but now he's going to give up the outside to Joshua Adams in the 88.
These drivers really trying to push each other past one another, try to get back single file. These guys really don't want to lose the positions where they're in, but as more guys try that lower side and are able to shove some of these guys up the racetrack, you know, the third groove really isn't there yet, and not really where you want to be. It's really more that second groove.
38 of Shane Terriot on the outside. That he really took a really high arc there through 3 and 4, even higher than normal, and got a really good run down the front straightaway. And he's going to kind of almost bump draft down the front straightaway. You don't really see that at Iowa as being in the short straightaways, but he's going to have a heck of a run here off turn 2. Let's see what he does with it.
Of course, as I start talking about the third groove,
dive bomb by the 38. Excuse me, Brandon. Dive bomb by the 38 to the inside, and is he going to be able to clear? No, he's going to give the lane there and kind of play clean there as it's still early in the race, but that was a heck of a maneuver, a heck of a try there.
I think 38 would have had to come up the track a little bit sooner to make that work, but he almost had it.
Hang on to it.
Going on to the back straightaway. 88 now on the outside of him, fighting for the second position. He ducks low once again, but that's not going to work because you got two trucks on the high side.
Watch
now.
the 38. The 38 almost had a little bit of a door underneath the 14 there, but he's going to fall back to third there with the lack of momentum on the straightaway. We're going to watch Joshua Adams here in the 88 try to regain some momentum here and see what he can do with the 14. Here he comes down the back straightaway. He has a run. Is he going to dive bomb per the 38, or is he going to stay where he is? He'll choose to stay on the high line.
Close racing here in the Hardline Racing League tonight, Corey. These guys bumper to bumper for the lead all the way around the racetrack.
As a broadcaster, guys, battle for lead. I'll cut myself off. The 88 to the inside. The 88 has the inside line, which is preferred through 1 and 2. He's not going to be able to clear, though, and that's going to give him that lackluster run down the back straightaway. And now he's going to lose second to Shane Terriot, or is he?
One word that we don't normally say on here unless we're doing a dirt broadcast, Corey, is the term slide job, but that's what these guys tend to be doing here a lot tonight, diving it way down low and hoping to slide up in front, truck in front of them.
Shane
behind them, rather.
Yes, they are, Brandon. The slide job has almost worked a couple times, but hasn't quite cleared for these guys. Shane Terriot in the 38, he has that high line going. He's running higher than any of these guys, but I think that's giving him the best momentum off these turns.
The high side starting to prevail in turns 3 and 4, Corey, as the rubber starts to build up on the racetrack. These guys are going to start to move up and really attempting at least that higher line through turns 1 and 2 as well.
And as a broadcaster, guys, I hate only focusing on the lead battle. There is a lot of tight racing throughout the field, but when you have a battle for the top 4 like this, you have to focus on it. But we will try to get back to other battles in the field once this settles out.
So these guys pretty much single file again, but they're close enough where they can make a move at any point as the 51 attempts a move on the low side for the second position. He has the momentum almost side by side. He got
the 38, dive bomb, here he comes, slide job, dive bomb, whatever we call it.
He needs to pull up the racetrack sooner. He does. Crossover from the 14 truck.
He did such a slide job there, such a dive bomb. He lost all of his momentum, so even though he had cleared, he had no momentum to exit off the turn, so the whole move was null and void.
14 takes the lead once again, back from the 38 truck, now 51 on the low side of the 38.
Here comes the 51, Bradley Burke, all the way to the yellow line, almost out of the picture here. It's going to get him alongside, and he's loose!
He's around on the front straightaway, 51, sideways, no caution. Caution flag did not fly for that one. He gets it straightened out and back on his way.
A selfless spin there, but a very inconveniencing spin. He has no damage from that, but he's going to have overheated tires and a lot worse position here. We're going to watch it as he exits the turn here.
38 attempted to slide job for the battle of the lead again. Didn't quite make it work. He tucks in behind the 14 once again.
As we see here, the 38, Shane Terrian, he's running that higher line here in 1 and 2. Maybe that upper line. Ooh, a little bit bobble there off 2. He saves it, but I'm wondering if that second lane in 1 and 2 is starting to be a little more preferred.
Running right up by the wall now in turns 3 and 4, these guys are. And as I was talking about earlier, the third lane maybe not going to come into effect. These guys are running the third and even fourth line now through turns 3 and 4.
That they are here. So here he comes right to the yellow line, then 1 and 2 this time. He didn't try that higher line, but let's see what he does in 3 and 4. He's right on the back bumper, almost giving him a nudge there, but he's going to cut to the inside here. He kind of had a very interesting approach to that turn, and it's going to nearly get him around to the straightaway, not quite.
I like it's called that move, the slingshot, Corey. He backs up the corner, goes high, and then ducks down low beside the truck that he's trying to pass and gets the momentum off the corner.
But here he comes. He got a heck of a run here. I'm expecting the dive bomb, and there it is. But can he hold it this time? He's going to pull out to 3/10 or so, but he's going to have no momentum on exit, and that's going to give Finlayson another shot at it. And there he goes to the inside on the front straightaway.
38 in a favorable position on the high side, though. He may have the advantage off the corner and the momentum to hopefully stay at least next to the 14 truck. So they're still side by side for this lead. 38 has the advantage up high. 14 kind of lost the momentum down on the low side.
From the blimp cam here, you can really kind of see the differentiating line. That's a very hard word for me to say in this kind of a situation. But we see the 38 running that second lane, the 14 to the bottom, the 88 of Joshua Adams here. Who do I follow, or do I create my own line? Looks like he's going to choose to go to the top lane with Terrian in the 38, excuse me, and that's going to give him a chance to get to the outside of Finlayson in the 14 and battle for the second position.
Side by side for the second position now, right behind your leader. These guys still managing to stay on the rear bumper of the 38, even battling for that second position. 14 falls back to third.
The 14, as you said, has fallen back to the third position. He's led 41 of the 56 laps, but now we're going to give Terrian in the 38 machine a chance to show what he has in the lead of this race.
These guys have been at it for this whole race so far, Corey. 57 laps into this thing now, and these guys have not given up fighting for the lead. You gotta think that their tires are screaming at them right now for being overheated, but these guys still going at it.
Yeah, they are. We're kind of watching the battle a little bit further back in the field here. We're going to watch some mid-pack action. We have the 74, Timothy Moore. He had made a move here on Casey Shue. Both of these vehicles damaged, but looks like the 74 is dropping back, and almost looks like something's wrong with that machine. He's really slow. I wonder if damage is hindering him.
He got hit hard in the front end of that last incident, Corey. The big stack up that we had from the last caution, possibly some engine damage, maybe suspension damage for that 74 machine.
But remember, here for the 6th position, battling for 5th, Tyler Hensley. He was last week's winner at the Kentucky Speedway. He was involved slightly in an incident, but he's kind of trying to fight for a top 5 spot, drifting in that second, almost third lane, almost into the 31 of Filip Radovich there, but he was able to stay off of him, and he's in a tight battle for that 5th position, trying to make that inside line work for him.
46 on the low side, 31 on the high side. Don't look now. Here comes the 24, hoping to get involved for this battle for position.
Rusty Capel, he had an early exit as well at Kentucky last week. Was involved in an incident, but he's trying to battle in this position for the 5th spot here. He's looking to the inside, trying to get almost 3 wide feisty, it looks like, but that position's not quite available, but watch out. Walker Thomas is trying to get back up to the front.
46 has the momentum on the low side now. Below the 31 car, can he make anything happen? Not running that low of a line, I wouldn't think. 31 way up on the high side, hoping to get the momentum off the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that high of a line is going to work, but he's definitely at least giving it a shot here. We watched the 46 trying to complete the pass here. We kind of spoke about this. Ooh, I don't know if...
really close there, Corey, and the 12 ducks below the 31 with his momentum kind of being lost.
I think Radovich there kind of gave him a little bit of a break, because I don't think he was quite ready for that slide job, but he gave it to him.
12 car ducks below the 31, and now battle for the 5th position as well. Below Tyler Hensley goes the 12, and it's not quite going to make that position work because he gets loose off the corner.
So move Hensley to the front of that position, to the front of that pack. He's now in the 5th position, 5 seconds behind your battle of Shane Terrian, who doesn't really have much of a gap, but has about a 1 truck length margin of breathing room to Joshua Adams in the 88, and about another maybe 2 truck lengths back to Fenlison.
So 31 trying to regain position there for the 12 machine, and not quite going to work.
And Rusty Capel trying to take that 31 car's position for that 7th spot. Looks like he was kind of experimenting with the low line, but doesn't want to quite commit to it. But he's going to gain a little bit of momentum here off turn 4. Let's see what he chooses to do with this run down the front straightaway. To the inside he goes, to the inside he looks, but the 31 with that extreme high line is going to open the door for side-by-side off turn 2. Will it remain that way? No, it will not. The 31 got a very good run with that lane up top, and he is going to prevail and remain in the 7th position.
So those guys sort that battle out now. Looking back up front, the 38 has pulled away from these 2 guys. Battle for second, still fairly close, but I think these guys on their older tires have kind of been able to sort things out.
Yeah, perhaps they have, but here we are pushing the halfway point in this race, and we're kind of looking to see the 38 car being the one to prevail so far.
Yeah, he seems to have the faster long-run truck. Corey is he's starting to come up to lap traffic now. Do you think lap traffic, if this thing goes green, will have any sort of effect in this race?
I think if the lap traffic chooses to run the high line, then maybe. But as long as they are courteous, which I expect them to be, especially towards the end, I wouldn't imagine so.
So, this is a 150 lap race, Corey. We're 69 laps into this thing now. Any predictions for the end of this thing?
Well, at the rate we're going, I think we've been on about a 30 or so lap run, so if this race stays clean and green, we're going to have green flag pit stops coming up. Well, coming up at some point, there will be another pit stop before this race is over, is what I'm getting at. While things have spread out just a little bit, it'll give us the opportunity to do a little bit of a field rundown here. Shane Terrian on 38 is your leader here, has led 17 laps and did a very good job saving that car off turn 2 that last time by. Joshua Adams in the 2nd position. Michael Fenlison in the 3rd position. Corey Blevins in 4th. Tyler Hensley has worked his way back up to 5th.